Hello, welcome back to Xiang's Daily News, where I will pick up some global news for you. Today we are covering 4 news: Taiwan National Days, Trump's infection, Biden's solo debate, and India's outbreak. And let's look at our first headline. BBC mistakes Taiwan double tent parade for North Korea. In a report about a military parade in North Korea, BBC International News erroneously showed footage of Taiwan double tent National Day celebration Saturday. Observers had been expecting the communist regime to stage its largest ever military display to make the 75th anniversary of its ruling Workers' Party. However, while discussing the event, the BBC News report showed footage of Saturday's much more modest parade outside the presidential office in Taipei. Okay, the first word, erroneously. Erroneously. E-R-R-O-N-E-O-U-S-L-Y. Erroneously is an adverb. In a mistaken way, incorrectly. He was erroneously reported dead. 就是错误的。再来是下一个单字 modest. Modest. The BBC News report showed footage of Saturday's much more modest parade. Modest. Adjective. Unassuming or moderate in the assumption of one's ability or achievement. He was a very modest man, refusing to take any credit for the enterprise. Relatively moderate, limited, or small. Usually we use it to describing something. Drink modest amount of alcohol. Modest. 温和的，相对于他者叫温柔的、少的、轻微的。那在描述人的话，就是讲谦虚的。好，接下来是第二段。Though Taiwan flags and some landmark buildings in central Taipei were clearly visible, the BBC still showed the words Live Pyongyang at the top of the screen. The model was noted by several viewers, including Facebook user John Hollow and Japanese Twitter Lazy Wax, who berated the BBC for its confusion. The British broadcaster apologized for its mistake and corrected the news item. 好，这边可以补充一下Taiwan Double Tent Parade 就是在讲台湾国庆大典这个阅兵游行。那我们在讲台湾国庆日，我们可以用 National Day 或者是 Double Tent。Double Tent 是因为我们的 National Day 是在双十节嘛，所以你也可以用 Double Tent 来描述。好，第一段应该没什么问题。那第二段的第一个字 The muddle 是混乱，使混乱、使困惑的意思，所以它当动词就是 confuse someone with something 或者 confuse something， 那 make something confusion， 所以它也可以当名词，就是 make something muddle。当动词的时候，你可以说I fear he may have muddled the message。那名词你可以比如 finances were in a muddle in 2020 because of the coronavirus, something like this。再来是下面一行 ，Who berated the BBC for its confusion? Berated 就是 scold or criticize someone angrily， 责骂指责。His mother came out and berated me for raising my voice. OK， 再来是第二段新闻。Trump no longer poses infection risk, White House doctor says。你看很有趣，就像上次有讲到的，谁谁谁说 White House doctor says。所以这是真的吗？不知道，但这是 according to this doctor。好，看内文。President Donald Trump no longer poses an infection risk to others and can safely end his isolation period, according to a memo released Saturday night by White House physician Sean Conley, just over a week after the president announced his COVID-19 diagnosis. The doctor's memo came hours after Trump made his first public appearance since his 3-day hospital stay, and released an ad touting his recovery from the coronavirus. Touting. Verb. Attempt to sell something typically by pestering people in an aggressive or bold manner. Jim was touting his wares and touting his recovery from coronavirus. It's not necessary to be attempt to sell something, but it's describing or to express something dramatically or exaggeratively. Sometimes it's not true, but you just want to show off. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Test of samples taken Saturday morning from the president shows that, by currently recognized standards, he is no longer considered a transmission risk, Conley wrote. 10 days after his first developed symptoms, and after going fever-free for more than 24 hours, Trump met CDC criteria for ending isolation, the doctor added. The CDC says that the most patients should isolate for at least 10 days after the start of the symptoms, and can end isolation at or beyond that point when their symptoms ebb and they have gone at least 24 hours without fever. But some severely ill patients may need to isolate for at least 20 days, the agency says. OK, 我们看到第二段的第三行 ebb, E-B-B, E-double-B 它可以当动词也可以当名词，就是讲退潮 The movement of the tide out of sea, the ebb tide. The tide began to ebb, or my enthusiasm was ebbing away. 所以它这边就是说当你的症状开始退去之后在等24小时如果都没有发烧，你就可以解除隔离。不过如果你的症状较严重者，必须要先至少隔离20天。Okay, let's move to our third headline. Biden opts for solo ABC town hall after Trump spikes Miami virtual debate. Democratic nominee Joe Biden will not participate in an ABC town hall with the voters in Philadelphia, after Mr. Trump announced Thursday that he was boycotting the second presidential debate in Miami over the sudden format change. In the release, the network announced it would host the primetime town hall with the former vice president, moderated by anchor George Stephanopoulos, just hours after the commander-in-chief said he wouldn't participate in the October 15th showdown after organizers made it virtual. Our first word, boycotting. Boycotting. Boycott, B-O-Y-C-O-T-T. Verb, to refuse to buy a product or take part in an activity as a way of expressing strong disapproval. People were urged to boycott the country's products. The union called on its members to boycott the meeting. Boycott. Boycott. 有点像是我们之前台湾拒买顶新产品，那我们就可以说 boycott. People were boycotting the goods from 顶新。OK， 接下来看第二段。It would host a primetime town hall with the former blah blah blah. Prime time 就是我们讲的黄金时段，在电视节目中会有这个黄金时段。所谓黄金时段，像台湾连续剧就大概会是7点、8点、9点，平日晚上会播出他们的重点节目，因为这段时间是最多人可能下班回到家煮饭还是在做其他事情的时候有时间可以打开电视看，然后会有最多收视率的时候，所以这个时候叫做 prime time。再来是第二行 with the former vice president moderated by anchor George Stephanopoulos. Moderated, moderate, M-O-D-E-R-A-T-E 动词还有两个意思，一个是 make or become less extreme, intense, rigorous, or violent. I shall not moderate my criticism. 第二是preside over something, 就是当为某一个节目做主持人。A panel moderated by a Harvard University law professor. 所以他在这边是用第二个意思。Anchor, anchor, A-N-C-H-O-R, anchor. 我们知道 anchor 就是锚嘛，那个船，每一艘船当你要停下来的时候，你就需要把锚放下去，这样你的船才不会跑走，才不会飘走。那他这边说 by anchor George Stephanopoulos. Anchor George 怎么会有一个 anchor 的名字叫做 George Stephanopoulos？ 所以他这边这个 anchor 指的不是那个锚，而是一个人嘛。所以 anchor 同时也可以用来形容 someone or something that gives support when needed, or an anchorman, anchorwoman in the broadcast. 再来是最后一个字。The commander-in-chief said he wouldn't participate in the October 15th showdown. Showdown. Combine the two words, show and down. It's a noun. A final test or confrontation intended to settle a dispute. Dispute means debate or disagreement. Okay, let's move to our last one, a rural surge of the virus in India. People across rural India are defying virus rules, propelling the nation toward claiming the world's largest caseload. In mega cities like Mumbai and Delhi, where the virus first surged, public awareness campaigns left the populace more prepared and careful. But many Indian villages believe the government is overstating the severity of the pandemic and showing no sensitivity to the hardships they are suffering. The ones who do follow the rules facing harrowing experiences at hospitals and social stigma in their towns. Okay, the first time, people across rural India are defying virus rules. Rural, defying, rural, rural, adjective, in relating to a characteristic of the countryside rather than the town, remote rural areas. Defy, verb, openly resist or refuse to obey. A woman who defies convention, defy, D-E-F-Y. Propel, propelling the nation toward claiming the world's largest caseload, propel, P-R-O-P-E-L, verb. Drive, push, or cause to move in a particular direction, typically toward somewhere. The boat is propelled by using a very long paddle, propel. And our first line in second paragraph, mega city, combines with two words, mega and city. Mega means something huge, big, massive, and so mega city means a huge city, a big city, major city, mega city. Populace. Public awareness campaign left the populace more prepared and careful. Populace. The people living in the particular country or area. The party misjudged the mood of populace. Populace. Okay, let's take a look at our last paragraph of last news in the last sentence. The ones who do follow rules facing harrowing experiences at hospitals and social stigma in their towns. Harrowing. Adjective. Harrowing. Acutely distressing. A harrowing movie about racism and violence. Harrowing. Stigma. S-T-I-G-M-A. Noun. A mark of disgrace associated with the particular circumstance, quality, or person. The stigma of having gone to prison will always be with me. Stigma. So here they mentioned the point. The infected people in India not only suffer the poor experience in hospital and also social stigma. So I think the thing is the government in India, they have to to educate people with the right information and right concept of this virus to prevent this thing happen again. And so the first thing is they have to take more care about their people to show they do care about the hardships they are suffering, they are experiencing right now to solve this problem. So thanks guys, this is it for today, and I will see you guys tomorrow, next time.